Coming up on Unpacked. 1.9 million followers on TikTok.
It's something that you just wake up and you just do your thing.
We impact people's lives more than we actually do realize.
Now, just talking about it, I haven't dealt with it.
There's times where you really don't feel like being in front of the camera.
When somebody's looking at you through their phone, they don't see this part of the conversation. Some might look at their social media and see top earners and have a certain perception about them. But today, both of our guests are going to speak about their personal experiences. Let's unpack. Whitney Ramabulana and Michalin Damase are two of South Africa's most popular social media stars. Boasting 1.9 million followers on TikTok alone, Whitney's videos are now at a global reach. Having studied finance, this former senior financial manager quit her job during the hard lockdown to pursue a career in social media. Michali has gone from beauty vlogger to a successful multi-award-winning digital content creator and philanthropist, having founded her very own foundation. These are their stories. Let's unpack. Whitney, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
And Michali, welcome to the show. Thank you for coming through.
Thank you for having me.
Now, both of you, we all know, are top influencers on your various social media platforms. And so many of the conversations that you've had are really around your content. We want to know, how did you actually, what was the personal driving thing that got you into doing what you're doing? Let's start with you, Whitney.
So for me, it's something that I didn't plan at all. I just joined TikTok and it just grew and grew. And which led to some of my videos just going viral globally. What I actually found in that is that they're actually young people who are looking up to me. And then I changed the whole thing to making them love themselves more, and just being themselves. So I think that's actually what actually drives me.
Would you say that's part of your personal agenda?
Yeah, it is, because before I joined the app, I had no self-confidence.
Yes.
But when I joined the app, I realized that, you got this. And then it actually made me love myself so much. And my confidence grew from 0 to 1,000. And that's why I also want the girls also to love themselves. Yeah.
From your side, Michali, people might think of makeup as such a superficial thing. We have conversations on a show like this about, for example, vitiligo and skin disorders, and makeup is not a superficial thing. It's a certain type of cover-up. It's a tool. People can use it to cover up scars. Have you found that people look down on the work that you do and your passion?
Well, not necessarily so much now. I think once you get to a certain point, then people respect your craft.
Yes.
But when I started out, definitely there was a lot of remarks like, "This wannabe makeup girl," or people thought I was, passionate about beauty for reasons such as I'm trying to cover my acne, because I had a lot of problems with acne in the past. But now I don't really get that a lot anymore. But there are definitely still a lot of people who undermine people who are in the beauty industry.
Do you find that your reason for wanting to get into makeup had a personal driver, like you've mentioned your skin? Was it important for you to cover up at a time when you wanted to build your self-confidence?
Not necessarily. My beauty for makeup started at a very young age. I think it was mainly influenced by the women who raised me, which was my grandmother, my aunt, and my mom. They played a huge role. And I think when you grow up in a woman-dominated household, you sort of, especially as a little girl, these people who are raising you, you watch them do their makeup. And that's when I really fell in love with beauty. And when I discovered the beauty community, which was around the age of 15, the online beauty community, I didn't really have trouble with my skin then. It only started the following year. So my love for beauty is genuinely just a passion I've always had. I think it's my purpose.
Yes.
I don't think it had anything to do with my acne, but of course, around the time when I was struggling with acne, it helped a lot. Yeah.
I'm just thinking as you're talking, obviously it's been called the beauty industry for many, many years. But do you think there are any possible negative connotations on it being called a beauty industry because of the concept of beauty? And yes, we can go into beauties or how you feel on the inside and all of these things. Do you think maybe that word could be or should be relooked, just considering the era and the time we're living in?
Not necessarily, because it's makeup, and I think it's just derived from the fact that everything in the beauty industry contributes to how you feel, which makes you feel beautiful. So makeup makes you feel beautiful. Having your hairstylist come through and do your hair, that makes you feel good. Getting a facial. So I don't think it necessarily has a negative connotation. Obviously, there's a lot of questions around it because of society's standard of what is classified as beautiful.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I don't think the name should be changed because, I mean, it comes from the actual meaning.
Yeah. So let's start with, just come back to you, Whitney. Talk to me about what life was like growing up. You've mentioned finding confidence. Where was that thing, the source of your lack of confidence?
I think not having my father around, it really killed my confidence, because I went to a point where I just hid myself. I was like, you know what? I don't want to have friends. I just want to be alone, because I'm scared that if I do find maybe a boyfriend, I might fall pregnant and then he just runs away like what my father did. So that really killed my confidence, because I just wanted to be, I just wanted to just be by myself. And that's why I lacked so much confidence and I didn't believe in myself at all. And but just joining the app, which made me feel comfortable. Because TikTok, it's something that you just wake up and you just do your thing. And people love you. Your videos can actually go viral without you doing anything. You're wearing your pajamas, and you might find that tomorrow when you wake up, you have like 20 million views. And that's why I actually fell in love with the app.
For the many young girls that are watching and maybe can resonate with what you're saying about that feeling of not having a father, maybe you can explain to us, what was that situation? Was it that dad was not around at all for your whole life, or that later on he just disappeared?
No, he denied my mom's pregnancy. She was still in high school, and he just denied it, and so he was never there. I didn't know him at all until I got to high school. I was like, let me just try and find my dad. But then by the time I got to find him, he was very sick. So we didn't even have the time to just talk and just... because I had so many questions to ask him. But then he was so sick to the point that I couldn't even ask him. I was like, you know what, it's fine. I just hugged him. I was like, it's fine. Let's just move on. But then he passed on, I think 2 years later. And I was staying in Gauteng and he was in Limpopo. So we didn't even have the chance to know each other.
What were some of the questions that you wanted to ask him?
Just why? Why did you deny? When you look at me, you see my dad. So I was like, why would you say no when you know very well that you are my dad?
Did he deny you even after you were born, or just the pregnancy and then that was it?
He denied the pregnancy, and my family kept it like it was like an abomination to talk about it. Nobody said anything about it. Nobody was allowed to say anything about it. But until when I grew up and I said, you know what, let me just do it.
Yeah. Did you ever get the closure you were looking for?
No.
Not at all?
Nothing.
Do you feel like you are at peace that you at least met him, or do you think it would have been better if you never found him at all?
Sometimes I'm like, if I had known him, then maybe I wouldn't be sitting here. I just feel like maybe it happened, it was a good thing.
What do you mean not sitting here? As in, like, if you had known him, you might not have had the confidence to come, or your life might not have turned out the way it turned out?
I think my life would have been so different.
Yeah.
It would have been so different. I would have been I wouldn't be here at all, because him not being there made my aunt to take me in, and then that changed the whole thing, how I discovered everything that happened in my life, which happened in Gauteng and not in Limpopo. So if I had grown up there, I know 100% that I would be here.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's a good thing.
You think it's a good thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think obviously it's hard for us as little girls. Our dads are our heroes.
Yeah.
And even, you know, for the young woman watching who have their dads, will still tell you about ways their dads have broken their hearts or let them down or disappointed them. So I think it's important that, you know, you are able to show that, look, this person wasn't here, it made me feel X, and today this is how I feel.
Yeah.
So now that you don't have closure, you don't have the questions answered, how have you resolved it for yourself?
I haven't, honestly. I haven't.
Is mom open to talk about it?
I'm scared to ask her about it.
Why?
I'm really scared. I feel like she's still broken from what happened, because she's a teacher. So I also didn't grow up with her, because she was she taught in Northwest and I was still in Limpopo. So I still don't know my mom at all.
Yeah.
So it's really hard.
Yeah.
Because it hits from both sides now.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I'm sorry to hear that.
It's fine.
I'm sorry to hear that. I think it's hard, man, but these are the things that connect us. And obviously, when somebody's looking at you through their phone, they don't see this part of the conversation.
Yeah.
Michali, I mean, you've been open about certain parts of your life. Is there anything you can resonate to with what she's sharing about, you know, that feeling with the relationship with dad and it not being existent?
I can definitely relate to it a whole lot, because I went through a similar situation, but except I had a very touch and go relationship with my dad. Like, he'd pitch up when he wants to and then he'd disappear, and he relocated to the UK when I was young. So unfortunately, he passed away in 2018, and I got my closure because I went to therapy. I got to a point where I was like, there's no one alive to answer the questions that I have for him, and there's only a certain side of the story that my mom has. I don't have his side of the story. So I just need to, you know, process my feelings, heal, and forgive someone who never apologized.
And you hit the nail on the head there, is forgiving somebody who never apologized.
Yeah.
We will come back to you and maybe you considering the therapy thing to heal, but maybe the social media is part of your therapy. But I mean, for you, what are some of the questions that you wanted to ask him that he never answered? Because the statistics will never truly say how many kids are growing up without present fathers. And maybe somebody's sitting thinking, I actually want to ask my dad that.
Yeah. I just wanted to know, like, what happened from his side of the story.
Yes.
As well as why the inconsistency, why couldn't you take the responsibility of being a parent? I mean, I definitely played my part in trying to reach out and, you know, have a better relationship with him, especially when I was older. I was in high school.
Yes.
I even applied for visas to go to the UK. The visa was denied because there's certain documents that he couldn't provide. So that's when we basically stopped communicating, which was, I think, a good 2 years prior to him passing. So I would have just asked those questions.
And how did it make you feel? And I'm going to ask you the same question. When the person you are possibly angry at, resentful towards, all those emotions dies?
I felt nothing when he passed away, because I was like, I don't really know this person like that. But obviously you feel sympathy for those that he was present in their lives. But I felt nothing. And then I think 6 months later, that's when I realized that, okay, this is the reality of the situation. I was very hurt. I was very angry. It was an angry kind of grief, more than one where I'm grieving a present parent. It's a completely different experience. So, I was very, very angry. That's the feeling that I experienced a lot.
A therapist once explained to me, I had a similar type of situation where someone died that had been quite hurtful to me. And I couldn't understand why I was so upset. And he said to me, because you no longer have anyone to be angry at. Now they're gone.
Yeah.
And you have nowhere to direct the anger.
Yeah.
Is that something you might have felt when Dad passed away?
I also didn't feel anything. And I asked my auntie, why should I go to his funeral? Because he was not there, why should I go? And said, no, you have to go there. And I didn't feel anything at the funeral. People were crying. I was like, I don't understand why I should cry, because I feel nothing for him. He's a stranger to me, even though he's my dad. And the people would scream. I think the people from his side, because we look so much alike, they could just see him through me. So, but I don't know. I just talking about it, I haven't dealt with it. I think I'll consider therapy.
You should. It helps a lot.
You should. And even if it's not formal therapy, just having conversations, because we have more similar experiences than we think. Just the hurt of a parent that was not there. Yes, it's often a father, but I think there's a lot of spaces that you can just speak openly and find healing. So how has the social media side, your platform is TikTok, actually helped heal you? You said it helped build your confidence, but what has it done for your insides?
It just made me, I think I've mentioned this before, it just made me love myself. Because I think growing up, I wanted validation that I'm loved. But then with what's happening right now in my life, it just made me say, you know what, you can do this on your own. You got this, And I think that's what has really done to me. Yeah.
From your side, Michali, how has your work, your platform is YouTube, which maybe is not as immediate engagement as some of the other platforms, but will come into your work on the other platforms. But has that YouTube space actually been healing for you and the type of work that you've done?
I wouldn't necessarily say it's been healing, because I haven't been that transparent about my experience on my platforms. I think I vaguely shared when people saw my tattoo behind my ear that I got for my dad, but I didn't get into the details of our relationship. So it wasn't healing in any way. I had to go do therapy to help me heal. I took a break off YouTube for like 4 months. I wasn't uploading any content. I think the only thing that is comforting from social media is just knowing that there's people who share similar experiences with you, so you're not necessarily alone. But I haven't really opened up that kind of discussion on my platforms.
But even without you opening it up, do you ever find people giving you feedback that makes you feel like, okay, I know why I'm doing this, or my work is healing work?
100%. I get a lot of messages from people, or maybe like DMs when I upload something, and they say that, I was having such a terrible day, and you don't understand how much your content is uplifting, or I'm going through this and that, and it's just, I enjoy watching your content because it distracts me from what I'm currently going through, the reality. So there's definitely a lot of therapy in social media, and I think we impact people's lives more than we actually do realize.
But your therapy is making you money. Can we go there? Because you've got like 1.9 million followers on TikTok, and it's quite a new platform. And obviously there will be people watching who are like, King TikTok, So maybe just share, how has that experience been for you? And like, how has making that money changed your life?
Okay, it has really, really changed my life. So my mother, she was in Limpopo. So I managed to move her from Limpopo to come and stay with me. Something that I wouldn't have been able to do if I had never joined the platform. Yeah, so it has changed so much.
So this is like you can move your mom from Kogai type of money.
Yeah.
And is it something that now you are, because you started out doing it for fun.
Yeah.
Is it something that now you're looking at as a business?
Yeah, I think 50%, 50-50. I don't want to leave the fun in it because I might lose myself.
Yes.
So for me, it's more just doing it for fun. And I think that's how I actually got to where I am, not knowing what's going to happen.
Yes.
And, but it's a good platform. It's a very good platform, yeah.
Yes. From your side, I mean, we know YouTube is quite a global giant. It's been around for a long time, but the monetizing side now has gotten to a certain level. What has it been able to change in your life?
So with YouTube AdSense, in SA, you don't earn as much. So there's different countries and our rates are different when it comes to earning. So a lot of my life and my lifestyle and everything is funded by the campaign side of things.
Yes.
So maybe I'll partner with a brand on a YouTube video and then I'll also earn money from monetization. So I think everything works hand in hand when it comes to that. And it's really, I mean, that's my full-time job, being a content creator. And I think I've been pretty blessed with opportunities that have afforded me a pretty comfortable life. And I'm really grateful, yeah.
I think what's interesting is about this new space that you're in. Like we, you know, are also content creators, just a different type of content creator. We have to plan. Like we have to say, hey, everybody in the studio with us, this is the time we're starting, this is what we're recording. But you guys get to just wake up and feel like doing something. And then, you know, so yes, I'm aware there's planning in it, but maybe you can share some insights on that. How does your mood affect the content you're going to make on the day? Because obviously if you've got a campaign you're doing, there's a scheduled time you have to do something. But if you're doing something for you, but you woke up depressed that day, now whether I'm depressed or not, I'm going to be sitting here with the two of you having a conversation.
I think that's a huge downside of being a content creator is that there's times where you really don't feel like being in front of the camera, but you have to get your job done. I'm very big on protecting my mental health. So I try and always find ways to shift around things in my schedule, which often will negatively affect me when it comes to timelines. So when I have to shoot, I have to shoot. And then sometimes you have to schedule content. Most of the time, we actually have to schedule content because you have to send things in for approval to client, or maybe I have to get in a videographer to help me shoot because I can't shoot it alone. I think the easiest content to shoot alone is tutorials because it's literally my setup at home. My desk that I do the makeup on, I fix my background, put pretty decorative pieces, and I can shoot that alone. The only thing that I have to person that I have to schedule with then is the editor who helps with editing my content to make sure it's ready on time.
But if you are depressed on a day and you have to shoot, what do you do?
I have to show up. I find something that makes me feel better to do prior to shooting. I might push out the time that I'm shooting. Maybe I'll watch like a couple of YouTubers just to feed off the energy. Seeing people excited about doing their craft in the same space as me will then maybe hype me up. Maybe I'll listen to music, gospel. Maybe I'll pray, or I'll get on the phone with a friend. Also, another thing that helps a lot and gets me excited is finding inspiration. And you can draw inspiration for content from anything, even architecture or whatever it is that you're passionate about. I also go online and have a look at that. So I find ways to get myself out of the funk because at the end of the day, you have to get your job done.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, if you're making money, it's a job. And your side, when you are feeling super, super sad and not okay, what do you do when you have to now create?
I think it happened, if not last week. I was not in a good place. It was a very bad day for me. And I decided to make a video. I couldn't smile. So people know me like, Whitney, we love your smile and stuff and all of that. I couldn't smile. And I made the whole video and posted it. Everybody came at me like, Whitney, what's wrong? What's happening? But I think the platform helps me. It helps me feel better. So if I'm not okay on the day, I can just go on the app and then I just start scrolling, and then I can find something that can just make me happy or make me smile.
And then you get out of your funk and you post the content.
Yeah.
How do you feel about people telling you what they really think? And I'm not just talking YouTube. Like, for instance, they're saying to you, how happy is the guy smiling? You know, like, how do you feel when people are like, Michali, like, really?
I'm aware that when you put yourself out there, you obviously opening up yourself to opinions and criticism. I don't mind constructive criticism, and I don't mind when people come from a good place. I think the only time I get irritated or, is when people come at you sideways. Like, you can always read the undertone in the message, and if it's off, then obviously that's going to put me off. But I don't necessarily go back and forth with people, especially on DMs. If I get funny DMs, I usually just ignore it. If someone's extremely rude, then I'll just block them.
Yeah.
But I'm very much open to constructive criticism. I feel like it contributes a lot to our growth, and it's important to know what our audience is enjoying.
Just to pick up now on people's feedback, I mean, every single time I have randomly found you trending on Twitter, it's because somebody came at you sideways and you responded. What is it that people usually have an issue with? And then tell me what you think they really have an issue with.
You know what? I think my biggest problem on social media, or let me rather say Twitter, because I don't have any problems with other platforms, is insecure men in South Africa. People who have nothing else to come at me via will find something, or they'll try create some sort of narrative, or there's just always something stupid, and you can tell it comes from a place, from someone who's insecure. And I very often respond to those kind of comments. Obviously, I don't do it often because, I mean, I have to be cognizant of the fact that there's people who are watching me and some things aren't worth entertaining. But I do respond sometimes because I feel like a lot of men this is how they try and control women and put down women who they know are maybe doing well for themselves, women who are confident, women who are assertive and unapologetically about it. And also women, exactly, unattainable, and also someone who's sexually liberated. You know what I mean? Men hate that. They hate that. But at the same time, who are they having sex with? So it's like, why are you upset? I never really understand how men think. So whenever I get dragged by men on social media, it's obviously for those stupid reasons. And I always feel the need to sometimes show them that actually I'm not the one.
Yeah, you're not the one to come
I'm not the one. And your anger is coming from a very insecure place, and you need to work on that. I don't have time for nursing fragile egos. That's not why I'm on social media.
I got you. But for the person watching at home who isn't on social media, because the other problem I have with Twitter is that everybody on Twitter thinks that that's the world and the universe, 100%. Forgetting that it's only a small percentage of us that actually, have even access to social media. So for those watching that aren't on Twitter, what are the kind of things that a person, comes at you with that you consider you're being insecure because of X, Y, and Z?
For example, there's a very popular YouTuber in the UK, Nella Rose.
Yes.
She filmed a collab with her friends, and she made a remark like, I want to be in Dubai shaking my beep on a yacht in a thong.
Yes.
She was like, she's been suffering for 19 years. She's not going to date a man that she has to look after.
Yes.
So obviously a lot of hands were like tweeting that, and it's like exciting, whatever. And there were a few men who like to spoil the party for everyone. So I also tweeted that, and then there was another man who made some weird remark about how, I don't know what he was saying to me. I think he said something like, you don't even have a yacht, and whatever the case may be. And then he continued to make a thread saying, I don't have a car, that's why I'm in different cars. I definitely have my own car, but anyway. And he was going off about a whole bunch of other things that aren't even true. Even claims that he wrote some song, but I think he wrote the song prior and he was just using my name for clout. So I responded to him, and I was just like, your problem is the fact that you aspire to have girls like me shaking their ass on your yacht, which you do not own. So it's just coming from a sore place, and I'm sorry that you heard.
Okay, I get you.
Yeah, so it's those kind of situations, nothing hectic.
Do you deal with any cyberbullying?
A lot. It's
on the
crazy.
TikTok platform?
Yeah. It's
crazy. What type of bullying?
It's just hate comments. I've had a lot of people call me ugly. I just recently got a DM of someone saying, you think you've made it, just hang yourself.
What?
Yeah. But the good thing about the TikTok platform is they have a delete option. So every time when I see something like that, I just delete. But that one got me, of hanging yourself. Just go hang yourself.
Sure.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Wow. That's heavy.
Yeah.
That's heavy. And I mean, what sucks is, much as you've said, Michali, if you put yourself out there, you're exposing yourself. You're not asking to be told to hang yourself at the end of the day. So that's completely wrong. Mm-hmm. Okay, for everybody
watching. Not ugly, they lying. Sorry.
They lying. I mean, I don't even know how to respond to that. I mean, we deal with those type of comments like in radio, for example, because a person doesn't like your opinion. They tell you to kill yourself. And then you're like, really? So that's a horrible thing to experience.
Yeah.
Final words from your side for people watching at home, just on everything that we've spoken about today.
All I can say is your dreams are valid, and to love yourself and just to be confident and be happy.
I actually have one more question before I ask you for final word. How much of it is real?
Most of it, like
Most of it.
99.9. Actually, all of it is real because I always work with brands that I enjoy, that I would use outside of getting a paycheck. And I curate my content in a way where I adopt it into my lifestyle, you know? So I want it to be super organic. And that's generally what content creators do.
Yes.
So yeah, it's all real, to be quite honest. I'm not renting a car to shoot content or whatever.
Maybe he saw you in a taxi and thought that you're lying about having a car. But even then, there wouldn't be anything wrong with it. How much of it is real?
I think it's real.
It's real.
Yeah.
Okay, I got
is.
you. Final words for you, Mihlali?
In light of us having recently celebrated Youth Month, I think my final words are just to encourage the youth of South Africa, considering everything that they're going through. Hopefully people can find opportunities in the digital space to create business for themselves, or to hopefully build their own brands. And I hope we can move past this. Please don't be discouraged, guys. Continue persevering. And I wish you all the best in achieving your dreams.
Whitney and Mihlali, thank you so much. I mean, I didn't think we would touch on such deep and heavy subjects, but they're relevant. Thank you so much for sharing. It's so nice and refreshing that, like you said, it is real and you are real and your stories are real and your stories are valid. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having us.
Because it's social media, #Unpacked with Relebogile. If you have any thoughts on our conversation today or any other conversations you'd love for us to be having, do share them. And yes, social media is what you make of it. But if you can make bank, go there. Make that money. Make that money. And if you need to get help, also get help. Seek the therapy, seek the help, anything else that you need to just to empower and build yourself. Thank you for joining us. Have a good night. Next time on Unpacked.
Because before I knew it, it was on my legs, and then it was on my arm, and then it started appearing in my face.
But I didn't know that it was vitiligo.
I do not want to go back to school because I was being called ugly names.
Unpacked with Relebogile Mabotja. New episodes weekdays at 5:30 p.m. on my YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe. Television edited broadcasts weekdays at 5 p.m. Open up to S3.